Previously on Danganronpa. Oh my god, it's actually happening? No fucking way. Dude, I feel sick. I feel absolutely sick. Oh my god, stop it. After school lesson. Dude, this is awful. Oh no. No way! Alrighty. We're still in Chapter 5. We're in some place called the Unknown after Makoto's failed execution. So where the flip are we? This is a desk. It's probably the one that fell down here with me. That's a rocket. And a tank. Could that be the same rocket we saw at the beginning of the game? I better not think too much about it, about what I'm seeing down here. I don't know, I would think about it. This is like a plane? Is that an airplane? Something like that wind up in the school's garbage pit. Oh, wow. Alright, I think that's it. Now we just have the door. Rattle, rattle. It's locked. No matter how many times I pushed or pulled or kicked at it, it didn't budge. Getting out of here isn't going to be that easy. Well, if I'm not getting out of here anytime soon, I decide to look around for some food. There's plenty of food out here, but it's all rotten. But that was pointless too. Next, I search for some water. How can I be sure which liquids I can drink? Which ones are all around a bad idea? Again, pointless. I feel like I'm blocked in on all sides. But it's still not enough reason to give up, because I'm still alive. As long as I'm alive, I'll never give up. After making that proud declaration, the next thing I decided to do was go to sleep. My sleep was deep and uninterrupted. That was my only way to preserve what little strength I had left after not being able to eat or drink. I can't be sure, but I think at least a full day had to have passed. And all I did was sleep and sleep. It was like I was waiting for some kind of sign to come falling out of the sky. However, what fell from the sky wasn't a sign. Not exactly. Crunch. What the? The strange sound pierced my silent isolation, jarring me awake. As I watched, the pile of garbage jostled and formed an odd shape. Did something fall down over there? Something fell from above. What could it have been? Let's take a look. Did a giant piece of trash just fall down here? I carefully stretched my hand out toward whatever it was and tumbled down here with me.
Just a second.
Oh my god, a giant piece of trash? Rude. Before she emerged from the pile of garbage, I knew who it was.
It smells awful.
Oh my god, with the cup of noodles on her head. Ugh, it's shrimp too. That's disgusting. Kyoko! You look like you're doing better than I expected. What are you doing here? Isn't it obvious? I'm here to help you. I'm glad to hear that, Kyoko. You got a bit of garbage in your hair. She gave her head a quick, sharp shake to get rid of the trash, then faced me again.
Hey.
First, I have something for you. Go ahead and eat it. We can talk once you're finished. Thank you! I snatched the bread and water that she was holding out for me. Within seconds, it was in my mouth and making its way toward my stomach. Ew, that really hit the spot. Now I've got all the energy I need to keep going. So you still haven't given up yet? Of course not. After all, the fact that I can keep going forward is about all I'm good at.
Hmm?
Well, that's not such a bad thing to be good at. But Kyoko, why'd you come to rescue me?
So,
To pay a debt. Or, no, to atone. Atone?
you...
During the trial, even though you knew I was lying, you didn't say anything. So you knew that I knew.
Indeed.
But even though I knew, I did nothing to help you.
I...
I abandoned you. Don't say that. You didn't abandon me. No, that's exactly what I did. I abandoned you in order to save my own life. You were trying to save me, and I couldn't bring myself to do the same for you.
However...
But listen, not that I'm trying to make excuses, but there was a reason I had to survive, no matter the cost. Why did you have to survive?
It's true.
I'll tell you everything. The reason I have to survive
In other words,
is so that I can do what I came to the school to do. What? I made up my mind to come to Hope's Peak Academy for one very important reason. So you have some reason for coming to Hope's Peak?
indeed.
That's right. At least I did. Once.
I-
Once? Until recently, I had forgotten what it was. You forgot? But that's... I had no memory of what my purpose was. No memory? That's impossible. Amnesia? Then, is it really true? You lost your memory? Do you remember, Makoto? Do you remember the first thing that happened to each of us as soon as we arrived at this school? The first thing? You're talking about when we fainted, right? I fainted, and when I woke up, I was trapped here.
That's right.
I fainted too, and when I woke up, I noticed a strange feeling of separation within myself. A
It
disconnect.
would seem...
Thinking back on it now, at that point my memory was gone. At that time I'd forgotten. I couldn't remember why I'd come to this school, and I couldn't remember what my ultimate ability was. But what would make you forget all that? Strange, isn't it? It's hard to imagine it happened by chance. It seems much too convenient. Are you saying you think you lost your memory because...
Indeed.
I don't think. I'm positive it was the work of the mastermind. They stole my memory. But why would they want to do that? There's only one reason I can come up with. Because of my purpose and my ability. Somehow, they would interfere with the mastermind's plans. Interesting, guys. Interesting. Is it possible that she staged the whole death thing? The whole last trial? So, the mastermind stole them from you?
However...
It could also mean somehow my memories may be connected to the mystery of the school and the mastermind. Which is why I have to get them back. That's why I've been investigating things by myself this whole time. But if what you say is true, why didn't you ask the rest of us to help you?
Why is that?
If I did that, we'd all have worked as one. The mastermind would have noticed right away. Plus, there's always the chance that the mastermind is actually one of us.
Correct.
What? Well, don't make too big of a deal of it. It's just a possibility. But since it is a possibility, we can't ignore it, right? The mastermind, one of us? If she believed that, then of course she couldn't trust anyone around her. In which case, it only makes sense that she would look into her missing memory by herself.
However...
That being said, there was a limit to what I could do by myself, which is why I asked you to help me. But why me? Because among everyone, you were the least likely to be the mastermind. That was just intuition, but I see. Your intuition was right though. There's no way an ordinary kid like me could have been the mastermind.
I understand. I should understand everything. My goal isn't to get out of here. It's to stay here.
Ugh. It's just like that dream I had before, but why did that just happen?
Listen.
Or what? Are you okay? Oh yeah, it's nothing. It is nothing, right?
Hey,
Even now, I still trust you, you know? It's just, I'm not used to relying on others. I know I never asked you for help the right way, so I understand if you're not convinced. Honestly, I was convinced. I think that's just her personality. Okay, I think we'll just keep talking to her. You said you had a reason for doing all that investigating on your own. So, how'd that turn out? Were you able to remember anything?
So,
I think there's still a lot I don't remember, but at the very least, I was finally able to recall my purpose and my ability. You mentioned your ability. My ability, what everyone should have known me for. I'm the ultimate detective. I mean, that makes sense. I mean, that makes sense. The ultimate detective?
Correct.
And the reason I came to Hope's Peak Academy, there was someone I had to find here in the school. You want to find someone? Who?
So,
Well, it was the headmaster of Hope's Peak Academy. The headmaster? Why would you have to find the headmaster? Because he's my father. Nailed it! I called it, guys. I called it. I called it. What?
in other words,
I was separated from him as a child. As it turns out, he became the headmaster of Hope's Peak. I don't think it's that hard to figure out, but still. A win is a win. Kyoko's dad. Is Hope's Peak headmaster? Then that explains when Alter Ego told us that he thought the headmaster was involved. I'll find a way. Huh? No matter what it takes, I will find the headmaster.
No matter what?
No matter the cost.
So,
Kyoko, what's going on? My memory hadn't come back at that point, but when he said that, I felt strange. It makes perfect sense now, of course, since my whole purpose for coming here was to find him. That makes sense. But listen, Makoto, I want to make sure this is perfectly clear, so there's no misunderstanding. I said the headmaster wasn't the mastermind, but I didn't say that to protect him. I only said that I felt based on what I had seen when I'd snuck into the headmaster's room. Then, what did you see in there?
So,
The room had been ransacked. The shelves were a mess, the desk drawers dumped on the floor. The only conclusion is that someone who didn't know where anything was had been in there. You mean the mastermind, right?
it's true.
That was my assumption, yes, and to confirm my suspicion, I decided to investigate the second floor of the dorms using the key I'd found. But why there? Because I also found this in the headmaster's room. This is some kind of map?
Indeed.
It's a layout of the entirety of Hope's Peak Academy. I found it in the headmaster's room, along with Makuro's profile and that key. The map that showed the second floor was home to a number of rooms meant for the faculty use. Some of the staff must have had to stay overnight from time to time. And I figured the headmaster would have some kind of private room there. I assumed that if they were true, that room would likely hold more clues. Oh my gosh. So I went to check. And that's when I finally remembered. I remembered that my purpose was to find the owner of that room. So you went there to see if the headmaster really did have a private room there?
However,
But once I got there, I noticed that the second floor of the dorms didn't have any cameras or monitors. So what was it like? That part of the school, I mean. It's hard to describe. All I can say is, the moment I saw it, I realized whatever's going on in this school is more horrific than we ever imagined. What do you mean?
so,
I can't explain it. You need to see it for yourself. I'm sure you'll get your chance soon enough. It sounds like it must be important and really ominous. How do we get out of here, though? Try the door again? I'm gonna talk to Kyoko. Okay.
however,
Of course, once I got to the second floor of the dorms, there were no cameras and no monitors. Which is why I had no idea what was going on in the rest of the building. Oh, that's right! I forgot you could do all this. I was so preoccupied with investigating the area, it was unforgivably careless of me.
however,
I'm gonna go with this... yeah, which is why I had no idea what was going on. Has to do with Makuru Ikasaba, doesn't it?
however,
Just to be perfectly clear, I didn't kill her, and I know it wasn't you either. I know you're right, but that just means everyone but you and me had an alibi. So then who did kill her?
Anyway,
What I can say for sure is that the mastermind is directly involved. To begin with, the point of the class trial of Makuru Ikasaba was to get me killed. Get you killed?
indeed.
I stole that key and disappeared, and in retaliation, they wanted to draw me out and eliminate me.
Correct.
That was the point of the class trial. It was? The mastermind knew they couldn't interfere directly. You mean because of the school regulations?
That's right.
Exactly. With minimal restrictions, you are free to explore Hope's Peak Academy at your discretion.
In other words,
The mastermind is adamant about following the rules, and with that rule in place, they couldn't step in. Since they couldn't kill me themselves, they tried to use the class trial to do it. The mastermind couldn't step in because of the rules? That makes it sound like the mastermind themselves is somehow bound by the school regulations. There's one other thing I'd like to point out about the murder of Makuru Ikasaba. What's that? There was a point where Makuru may not have become the victim. It could have been you, Makoto. Huh?
indeed.
I could have become the victim?
Indeed.
You know what I'm talking about, right? Do you mean... during the night? I can hear them, you know? The footsteps of the god of death. What? I can hear the god of death as he moves. That ability naturally draws me into cases, just like this.
Anyway,
Which is exactly what happened with you. I was in the dorms, and I had a sudden sense of dread. I looked down the stairwell, and I saw a white shadow cross the corridor. I gave chase right away. As I followed it, I saw the shadow go into your room.
correct.
I ran into your room, and I saw what was happening. I intervened immediately, of course.
However,
That wasn't the end of things, of course. I stopped him, but that led to... whoever the mass assailant was, they ended up dead.
correct.
And their murder was disguised, and the dojo key wound up in my room. It had to be the work of the mastermind in an attempt to use the class trial to eliminate me. If all that is really true, then I was right to not expose Kyoko's lie. I'm glad I put my faith in her.
Correct.
So all this would mean that whoever killed Mukuro, I don't know why I keep saying Mukuro, is also the mastermind,
Indeed.
right? I don't have conclusive evidence, but that's what I think. That's really bad if true. I mean, it means the mastermind can kill whoever they want if they feel like it. Wait, but doesn't that create another contradiction? The mastermind wanted to use the class trial to try and kill you because they couldn't interfere, right?
Correct.
You're right, that is a contradiction. And it's not just Mukuro. They needed the class trial to kill me, but seemed ready to kill you in your room. Everything they did is a contradiction. So what does it all mean?
In other words,
It means the mastermind is the one who's been cornered. Huh?
Makoto.
Just a little more. A little more, and I should be able to figure out the mastermind's identity. The identity of the ultimate despair. The other ultimate despair? Wait, other ultimate despair? What does that mean? There's no doubt that Mukuro was the ultimate despair, and that she's dead. But I don't think the ultimate despair is just one person. It's not.
Indeed.
If you think about it, the ultimate despair seems to implicate whoever caused the event. You're
That's
talking
right.
about what happened a year ago, the biggest, most awful, most tragic event in human history. The tragedy. Whoever responsible for that, they're the ultimate
It would
despair?
seem-
That despicable group whose only purpose and motivation comes from despair. Then
Indeed.
they're, make no mistake, they're the root of all the evil that has forced us to go through this. That is the ultimate despair. And that is our real enemy. Chapter 5, 100 Mile Dash, Pain of Junk Food Junkie. The end. To be continued. We still got a little left time in this episode, though. What is that? Dream Island Rocket. Oh. Let's go ahead. 5 alive. The ultimate despair. A group of people who caused the tragedy 1 year ago. Those same people put together the killing game and began broadcasting it around the world. The most desperately awful group of people ever. That is the Mastermind's true identity. Our enemy has finally been revealed. But right now,
Anyway,
we have to we have to get out of this horrible place. Figuring out the rest of the story can come after. Yeah, you're right. Alright, how to flip. It's locked, bud. We have a way to open this door. Yes, with Kyoko and her magic thing. Kyoko, do you still have that one thing? Monokuma's secret tool that you got from the headmaster's room?
indeed.
Of course I do. It's an absolutely vital part of ensnaring the mastermind. I would never part with it. And it can open any door in the school, right?
That's right.
Then we should be able to use it to open the door, right? Hey, Kyoko, we can use that key of yours to open this door, right?
It's true.
Let's find out. Kyoko took out the key with the Monokuma design on it and slid it into the keyhole. And then... Yes, it opened!
Indeed.
And now we can get out of here. Let's go. Sounds good. We quickly opened the door and made our escape from the garbage pit. Finally. We were finally free. Well, not really. But there wasn't even time to take a breath of relief. Because the real fight had just begun. Chapter 6. The Ultimate Pain. Ultimate Suffering. Ultimate Despair. Ultimate Execution. Ultimate Death. After leaving the garbage pit, we found ourselves in a tunnel extending straight up into a chimney, like a chimney. There was a metal ladder leading up into the tunnel. We started climbing the ladder, intent on reaching the surface. Whoa, Kyoko! The ladder was impossibly long. I couldn't even see where it ended. We climbed into darkness. The passage was so dark and cramped, I couldn't even see my feet beneath me. I had no idea where we were so far
Hey.
down. Don't lose your footing. If you slip, I won't be able to catch you. Yeah, I'll be careful. But now that you said that, I'm getting kind of nervous. Maybe talking will help keep my mind off it. So Kyoko, there's something I want to ask you. You said you're the ultimate detective, right? So how long have you been doing detective work? How long?
So,
Ever since I can remember. I come from a long line of detectives. Detective work is in my blood. There was one time when being a detective was considered a sacred duty. My family's always seen it that way. Then, is your family famous? Quite the opposite, actually. Even among actual detectives, many people haven't heard of us. Huh? But how come? It's like your family tradition, right? So...
Right.
Because we take pride in it.
Indeed.
Pride? A detective is neither light nor shadow. We represent neither justice nor evil. This is how we can uncover the absolute truth. We stand neutral in all things, and to do that, we have to stand separate from the rest of society, which is why we've made a conscious effort to conceal our existence. A conscious effort?
It's true.
It's kind of old-fashioned, and I can't say it's entirely irrational, but it's our family creed, and we do what we must to protect it. Because, like I said, it's our source of pride. Pride. So that explains... Before I came here, when I was looking up info about the school online, I never saw anything about her. Because she hid herself on purpose to protect the pride of her family.
However,
Oops, sorry, I just hit my mic. And yet, I gave up some of that pride. Huh? In order to enter Hope's Peak, I had to reveal myself to the school. I did it knowing it was something a true Kirigiri detective would never do. But the reason you gave up that pride, the reason you would go so far to enter Hope's Peak, it was because that's how much you wanted to reconnect with your dad, right? There's no shame in that.
What?
Reconnect? I had absolutely no desire to reconnect with my father. Huh? But you reunited after all those years, right? You would have had so much to talk about.
Wrong.
There's nothing I want to talk to my father about.
However,
There is something I want to say to him, though. What? No matter what it takes, I have to find him and tell him face to face. Face to his face. Well, what is that?
So,
I want to sever all ties with him. Sever? The last time I saw him, I was still very young, so I don't remember myself, but apparently he was extremely intelligent. He was in line to become the next head of the Kirigiri family. He was talented, he had a promising future,
however,
but he had no interest in detective work, so he cut himself off from the family. Not long after that, my mother died, and he simply ran away. He went to my grandfather, and they had a huge argument, and as young as I was, he left me behind. I'm sure there was a reason for that. I'm sure your dad wanted to take you with him.
right.
If that's true, then I need to thank him. Thank him for leaving me, because unlike him, I take pride in the work I do. I take pride in my family's name. So every last part of me is happy he didn't take me with him. If I'd gone with him, I never would have had the chance to become a detective. I was above Kyoko on the ladder, so I wasn't able to see her expression. So I couldn't tell. I couldn't see how she looked when she said that, what she might have been feeling. All I could tell was that compared to her usual self, she was more talkative and more emotional. I don't blame him, you know. He had his own life to live. That's what anyone in my position might say, right? But it's not true. But there's one thing that I can never forgive. Really?
So,
The way everyone else looked at me. I was never sad about being left behind. Like I said, I think it was a good thing.
however,
But when the rest of my family looked at me, they saw something different. They only saw me as a little girl that was abandoned by her father. That's how they see me even now to this day. His shadow has been following me my entire life. I'm sick of it. I need him out of my life. I need to step out of his
Correct.
shadow. That's why I have to find him and tell him we're no longer family, in order to settle the past, in order to remove him from my life forever. I have no doubt he forgot about me years ago. But your family, to just cut him out like that.
wrong.
Our only connection is through blood, nothing more. Are we connected by heart and soul?
Hey.
No. Is blood really enough to call someone family? Only connected by blood, not by heart or soul? I was so shocked to hear her say something like that. I didn't know how to respond, so instead, I said nothing. I just kept climbing the ladder in complete silence. After I didn't know how long, we finally reached the top. Looks like this is it.
Indeed.
On the other side of that door, Hope's Peak is waiting for us. We're
That's
back.
right.
Remember that hatch on the ground near the trash room? I'm fairly certain that's where this will come. Oh, yeah! I unlocked it earlier, so it should open without much trouble. Well, here goes nothing. I reached my right hand up and pushed against the hatch. The hatch opened with ease, and so... here we are. Looks like we're back. But I can't remember how long that ladder was. I'm exhausted. I can't exactly say we're safe and sound, but at least we're out of there. Now we're back in Hope's Peak Academy. Kyoko, thank you. I never would have gotten out of there without you. No thanks necessary. I was just returning the favor. This is how we got out of the garbage pit. I never would have imagined that's where this led. This is the trash room, the dump, in other words. But to be honest, I don't think I've seen anyone throw anything down there. That's true, I've never seen it either. So, now what do we do? I'm glad I didn't die, of course, but if the mastermind finds out... And I'm worried about you too. You helped me so that my...
Listen.
You're worried? Yeah, of course.
So then,
Then let's just get a concrete answer.
in
Huh?
other words,
Let's ask Monokuma if there's a problem with you escaping. Wait, that's...
however,
If we try to hide, it's only a matter of time till we found out. And it's not like we can run away. As she said that, she pointed at the nearby surveillance camera. So you're saying that rather than stressing out over getting caught, we should just give up now? Don't worry. What do you think is going to happen? What you think is going to happen isn't. Because the mastermind is the one that's ensnared. The mastermind is ensnared? You said something like that before. What does it mean? The mastermind stood exposed during the investigation into Makuru's... oh my god! There was a moment where the mastermind let their guard down. There was? Right. If we can talk to Monokuma, we can confirm it. And it'll be better for us if we go to him directly before he tracks us down. We should help. That should help with our negotiations. I'm still a little, super uneasy about this. But we don't really have a choice, do we?
Indeed.
Monokuma should be in the
Shall
gym.
we go?
Let's get going. Oh my gosh, guys. So much going on. So much going on. Also, apologies for like the lackluster reading today in this episode. A lot of reading. I'm happy that I was right about the mastermind being her not the mastermind, but the headmaster being her father. I'm glad we have like some information on who she was. It makes total sense that she's the detective. I think I said like she's like I might have said that, maybe not necessarily the word detective, but maybe like engineer, but like those are two different things. But that was like I think when I was like trying to speculate what her ultimate was. The ultimate despair being a group of people is pretty cool. It would be interesting if it was the previous class. That would be kind of neat if it was like the previous class, or like yeah, because 1 year ago they did all that stuff, or members from like the previous class, and then now they're doing this. That would be kind of neat. But yeah, anyway, till next episode, guys. See you later. Thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, hit that thumbs up button, the subscribe button, and the bell icon. Stop by Premiere Monday, Wednesday, or Friday at 2 p.m. EDT right here for more Danganronpa content. Until next time, go forth the rest of your day, make it a good one, and I will see you in the next one. Take care. Bye-bye.